So how do you like that one? SCOTUS sides with Trump. 9-0 decision. Now I know that Colorado cannot kick Trump off the ballot for federal office. Now, they can kick him off the ballot in Colorado regarding state elections if Trump were running for state office in Colorado and he committed insurrection, or they think he committed insurrection. They could kick him off the ballot in Colorado, but not for federal office. So basically what the court did here is they punted the ball to Congress, saying, well, Congress is going to have to pass some type of mechanism that would bar Trump from running for office or being on the ballot. And you know all the ultra-leftists and these liberals are crying their eyeballs out, breaking those bottles of champagne they thought they were going to pop open. CNN in denial here. You know they're going to have wall-to-wall coverage of this. So CNN quotes Noah Bookbinder, there's a last name for you, Bookbinder, who heads up Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in D.C. Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in D.C. We believe in fair and free and open elections. No Russian interference. But there's a last name for you, Bookbinder. Back in the day, if you said you were a bookbinder, it meant that you were usually involved in nefarious activity, possibly a loan shark. I'm not saying that Noah Bookbinder is, okay? But that's what it meant back in the day. So to quote Noah Bookbinder, quote, there is not a single sentence from a single justice taking substantive issue with the finding from the Colorado Supreme Court that Trump engaged in insurrection. But you have to show intent. See, Trump has not been charged, or well, he's been charged, but he has not been found guilty of insurrection. You have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he engaged in insurrection, that he had the intent to engage in insurrection or rebellion. Now, the reason that, of course, at the root of this is Clause 3 of the 14th Amendment. That's the crux of the argument here. But the dirty little secret is that Article 3 of the 14th Amendment was put in place. Well, the 14th Amendment was really a political move because it's all about power. It had nothing to do with civil rights and equality. It was about power, political power. And they wanted to bar these former Confederates from running for office in the United States. That's what they wanted. So the Republicans at the time could have all the power. That's what it was about. So 9-0 decision. Now, Jason Murray, who represented Trump in this case, responded by saying, quote, the court had the opportunity to find some defect in the evidence we presented and did not do so. So now this is probably going to go to Congress. Congress is going to have to come up with some type of legislation or pass some type of bill here saying that, you know, if you engage in X, Y, or Z, that would be considered insurrection, and you cannot run for federal office at that point. So the 5-member conservative majority concluded, according to CNN, that Congress would have to pass, like I said, an enforcement mechanism before states could take action to bar Trump from the ballot. Now, Norma Anderson, who's 91 years old, was the lead plaintiff in the lawsuit. And if you saw a picture of this woman, she looks like she belongs in a retirement home. It's time for a lot of these people like the Mitch McConnells, the Chuck Schumers, they all need to retire. They need to retire. Go away. We need some younger people in Congress, people that represent us. People aren't going to plan to be there for 30 or 40 years and outstay their welcome. That's what we need. Not somebody like Norma Anderson, who's 91 years old and looks like they should be in a retirement home. So she chimed in. And she said, now, I believe that she is one of these establishment Republicans, these rhinos. And she said the Republicans need to, quote unquote, recognize the threat that Trump poses to democracy. And I've said this numerous times here on the channel. We do not live in a democracy. This is a federal republic. That's why we have the Electoral College. And I have my issues with the Electoral College. Because why should California get X amount of votes and Florida get X amount of votes? And let's say South Dakota only gets so many votes. If we can do the Electoral College, make it where you have 5 votes per state or 10 votes per state across the board. So it's equal for everybody. I mean, that would be fair. Or just go with a national vote and part electoral college. So that's a happy medium, and everybody wins. Everybody gets represented. All parties, not just Republican and Democrat. Just my little side here. Now, according to Norma Anderson, again, 91 years old, who looks like she should be in a retirement home, and she's got those awful sunglasses in this photo from the 90s. Looks like Space Lady. Quote, today's decision does not change the fact that the former president engaged in insurrection. Where's your proof of this? Now, I didn't vote for Trump. Said that numerous times here on the channel. But where's your proof that Trump engaged in insurrection? Show me the intent. Show me the actual evidence, hardcore evidence that he engaged in insurrection, that he specifically told his supporters on January 6th to go into the Capitol building armed to the teeth and commit insurrection and overthrow the government. Where did Trump say that? Go back and check the record. Nowhere did Trump say that. And again, I didn't vote for Trump. But we don't want to do that because we got to, fuel this narrative that Trump engaged in insurrection, even though we have no solid evidence to prove it. And he said at the ellipse, let's now peacefully and patriotically march to the Capitol and make our voices heard. Yeah, well, peacefully and patriotically is code for insurrection. How can you have an insurrection if you're telling people to march peacefully and patriotically to the Capitol? Peaceful protest is not insurrection. It's peaceful protest, dummy. But I digress. So today's decision does not change the fact that the former president engaged in insurrection against the U.S. Constitution. Huh? What? Okay, the Constitution is a document. If you want to make the argument that Trump engaged in insurrection against the United States, that'd be one thing. But you're saying the U.S. Constitution. The U.S. Constitution is a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper. Yes, it's supposed to represent the United States, but it's a piece of paper. You cannot commit insurrection against a piece of paper. Never known that to happen. This woman is an idiot. Now, she was a former Colorado House and Senate Majority Leader back in the day, before she had to go into the retirement home, or needs to go into a retirement home. But that's the latest. So the ultra-leftists, the establishment, they're crying their eyeballs out. They're breaking those bottles of champagne because they can't pop them open. Probably knocking over statues of Thomas Jefferson, Washington, Jefferson Davis, you name it. But you see, the Confederacy's to blame for all this. It's the Confederacy's fault. We wouldn't have Clause 3 of the 14th Amendment if it weren't for the damn Confederacy. When all the Confederacy was trying to do, and I taught, my dad's birthday was yesterday. He's 69 years old. 69 years old. Way to go, Dad. Shout out to my dad. Love you, Dad. Hope you're watching the channel. But we talked about this last night. We had a nice, lengthy conversation about what was going on back then. And he agreed. He said, yeah, and he's a Civil War buff. He's read everything. Probably knows more than I do about all these battles and stuff during the Civil War. But this wasn't insurrection committed by the South. This was secession. I mean, if Trump really engaged in insurrection here, we'd have no U.S. government right now. Biden would not be in office. So it's all a ruse. It's all crap. See, I'm the only one on YouTube who's willing to come out and say it like it is. It's all crap. When are you people going to wake up and say what needs to be said? It's all crap. The whole thing's garbage. We need to redo this whole electoral process and maybe not put so much emphasis on the president and put more emphasis back on the states where the power belongs, because that's where the people live. And it was the people of the states who granted certain powers to the center to work in our best interest. As I've said numerous times here on the channel. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. Thank you for letting me rant and rave. One take video today. You can find me at X, Culture Confederacy, at Culture Confed1 on X. Go to Instagram. Hashtag Jason Composes, because I write music in my spare time. But I'll catch you next time. Y'all have a great Monday. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out. God bless this thing called the United States. Told you it's a one take video. And I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.